It's another Wednesday, and of course, we're seizing the opportunity that it is.
For us, it's another opportunity to give you a Wonder Women Wednesday experience on your favorite breakfast show.
And we definitely love nothing more than what we do here every single morning, and we know you love it too, just as much, because you keep tuning in over and over and over again.
They keep showing up. In fact, hi to our e-community. Hey,
Yeah.
how you doing?
Yep.
4 beautiful ladies are going to be right here with you to make sure that you have a fantastic time with all of us. And we're going to be spending the next 1 hour, 45 minutes with you.
And yes, of course. And all we require of you is your undivided attention while, the show lasts, okay? Because, there's a lot happening here.
Yes, so don't worry. The
Don't
kind of
miss it.
colors we wear, they can't be looking
That
anywhere.
means your hair's bleed.
Oh,
your dress is
yeah,
black
so
and
blue
yellow,
hair.
So, yeah.
And I love this dress, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful. We'll talk later. You know the women are super amazing. We multitask. Sometimes we gist under the table, but rest assured, we have you covered. A considerable number of things have been put together today, and they're coming your way this morning.
And we are super organized too, because we are not shabby. We don't just throw things at you. So make sure, be sure that anything we bring is refined.
We make sure it's very, very, put in place nicely. You already know that we're going to be having a great time on the show on Wednesday, but we're going to be looking forward to what's happening. We're going to be telling you about that in a second. My name is Titilaya Oyinson.
And my name is Winfrey Agbelishe. Make sure you stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. You can also catch us on GOTV channel 27 and UHF channel 49, and of course on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yes, so now that app, if you haven't downloaded it yet, just know the name is the TVC app. Just download it so you can catch us very, very soon.
Absolutely.
Of course, we have our nutrition segment coming your way. You would be surprised the amount of toxins available in our foods.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Onyema is an advanced clinical weight loss expert, CEO of Liz Weight Watchers and Hearty Foodie. She's a lifestyle health entrepreneur and teaches nutrition, activity, and so much more. How does the body handle chemicals that aid the buildup of toxic fat? That's the question we're going to try to answer today on nutrition.
Very important question. And of course, on relationship, we will be highlighting the importance of premarital counseling for marital success with Olabisi Soitan, who is a certified emotional intelligence and marriage coach and the founder of Secret Place One. We're definitely already looking forward to this one, and we'll be having this conversation with Princess Amaomi Agumbiade, the current Miss Multiverse Nigeria, who will be representing Nigeria at the Miss Multiverse 2022 International Beauty Pageant in Dominican Republic. She's also a model, actress, and entrepreneur. Look out for that one.
And for our performance, we'll be joined by Oluwafumilaya Oseni, a.k.a. Ms. Slimzy. She's going to be performing her single, We Good Together.
And then we wrap things up with another up-close and personal conversation with Malcolm Nuna, a musician currently making the waves on the Ghanaian music scene. He'll definitely be here talking to us, so make sure you stick around for that one.
Wow, what a colorful video. That's
Interesting. I like the box on the head.
Yeah, nice. Even the 4 split screen, that's really unique for an African video. I see it a lot with the let's say Western world music videos. But speaking of colors and colorful people, someone we want to appreciate today is the one and only Winfrey. Happy birthday, darling.
Thank you.
Happy birthday in arrears. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
And she's still glowing from yesterday's birthday.
I always glow.
Love. It's more on your birthday. It's more.
It increases by the...
For the part of the just.
It increases as you go on to the next floor. You know, every floor the glow increases. How you feel?
You get closer to the sun,
So how was your day yesterday?
Or closer to heaven. My day was okay, not bad. It was nice and relaxed, nothing crazy, dramatic, just home, chilling. Despite the fact that a lot of people harassed me. I'm sure you saw that Instagram post where they tagged you a lot.
I woke up this morning. Because yesterday, the minute yesterday was Elsa's graduation, by the way, and then when I go home, I just ate and I passed out, like literally, like I slept. It was as if my body was saying that I needed that rest. And then this morning, I took my phone, and I'm saying, but why? With crying emojis. And I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute, what did I do? Unknowingly, Auntie had tagged me on some long episode that she wrote.
Did you bother to read it?
Expressing herself. Instead of her to say, okay, I did not actually plan to celebrate my birthday. Put the blame on me. That was me that told her not to plan any birthday
As
party.
a good friend that you are.
Because I said she should focus on herself. Was that a bad?
Did I say it was a bad one now? It was a very timely, important.
It's important.
I just had to tell them.
I said,
Everybody was disturbing me.
Yeah.
I didn't understand how where people were just like they were. I'm like, hey guys, calm down. As a matter of fact, I replied saying, guys, I am running from all of you that want to get at me.
You know, there's this time for reflection of what your first 30 years have been like.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, I agree with Focus on yourself.
Yeah, of course. But then again, we cannot avoid the pressure that it is to turn 30, actually, in this day and time, and all of that. Because I mean, everybody's like, okay, no, it's 30. You have
But then I think what I'm going to add, it's a mindset. If you feel the pressure, then it's only a mindset.
No, that's the thing. So
we're gonna talk a little bit more about this later on, especially the pressure that ladies are under. And you know, I took off the wigs because I thought it was going to rain today. Was I right?
You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. It is time for the news. We're starting in Abuja, where earlier the electricity workers threatened to embark on an indefinite strike from Wednesday if their demands are not met. In this report, TVC News correspondent Joke Adisa says the workers allege that the management of Transmission Company of Nigeria is disregarding their conditions of service.
Is not well between electricity workers in Nigeria and their employer. After a 7-year lull, the federal government inaugurated a 14-man board of the Transmission Company of Nigeria in July with a mandate to ensure efficiency in the power sector. But the workers are not at ease with some of the steps being taken by the new board. This is one of the reasons for this peaceful protest.
Our entitlement was completed less 16 months, which was supposed to be paid to us. Now there was an agreement that the market operator in TCN is going to pay this money. Last week they told us they are not going to pay. You don't have the money to pay. So who pays the money?
Anybody that is a principal manager, you will not go for promotion or any written exam before you are giving assistant general manager. It depends on the vacancy, but they come, they say you must write exam, you must do interview, which is not in the career progression, and then continue to be signed by the union and the management.
Other issues on the front burner include the alleged stigmatization of former PHCN workers and non-payment of their 16 months entitlements. They say this protest, which has brought all activities of the company to a halt, is a prelude to what's to come.
This protest is nationwide. If our demands are not met, we don't get any concrete thing from government, tomorrow we will shut down.
All the TCN within Nigeria is under lock and key. If nothing is being done tomorrow, we are going to withdraw our service. It's no more locking the office. Everybody will stay at home. And that means there will be total shutdown.
The workers also called for the implementation of the Electricity Reform Act.
As the clock ticks, these protesting workers say they are set to commence a nationwide industrial action from this midnight should government continue to ignore their demands. What this means is that Nigerians will have to experience total blackout in days ahead. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to present his 2023 appropriation to the National Assembly in September. That's according to the Director General Budget of the Federation, Ben Akabweze, who spoke at a 2-day nationwide training on budget preparation organized for the over 4,000 budget officers drawn from about 900 ministries, departments, and agencies of the government. Mr. Akabweze, who was represented by the Director Expenditure in the Budget Office, Mr. Fabian Ogbu, said the federal government under President Buhari is determined to ensure consistent and timely preparation, submission and approval of annual budgets as part of its public financial management reforms. Mr. Akubueze further explained that the 2023 budget is also being prepared in tandem with extant federal government policies and guidelines as articulated in the 2023 budget core circular and other relevant laws. And that's all we have for the news for now.
Thanks so much for staying with us. It's time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the newspapers this morning. We're starting with The Guardian. Today is Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. Wealthy Nigerians, middle-class youth in web of naira shorting, country at risk of all-time high money laundering. Requests for dollar-denominated accounts spikes. Fund managers feast on desperation of dollar assets. And outlaw domiciliary accounts go after black money. It says in a quote there. I'm not sure who gave that quote, but it starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 9. Just beneath the masthead there, it says, total blackout imminent today, despite NERC tariff market contracts. Falana, others sue Akwa Ibom Chief Justice over jailed lawyers' rights. 27 passengers still in captivity, says Mamu. Your apology accepted, Archbishop tells Lalong. There's a little bit more on the cover of The Guardian. It says here, Wike's meeting with Obi after botched one with Atiku's camp raises dust. And 1,700 abandoned NDDC projects in Bales are unacceptable, says Diri. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian. We also have The Nation newspaper with us this morning. It says here, 2023, disquiet in PDP as Obi meets Wike, autumn others. Party on self-destructive path, says Rivers Governor. Ayu must go. Story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 4. Just beneath the masthead there, it says, thug shoots 4 in Ondo. NEMA receives 174 Libya returnees. Page 2 has more on that. On insecurity, terrorists, bandits are threats to 2023 poll, says Dambazao. And governors meet today on insecurity. Lagos stakeholders seek total ban on Okada. And federal government, ASU, talks deadlocked. Page 6 has more on that. And just beneath the photo story there, it says Osun police intercept 14 suspects, 12 motorcycles in truck, and 14s apparently, sadly, drowned in Lagos. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation. It seems we have time for one more newspaper. We have The Punch with us this morning. It says PDP crisis. Atiku Wike's men hold peace talks on Friday. A party that wants to win election cannot be involved in infighting, Rivers Governor says there. Atiku's camp wants meeting to hold in Abuja. It says here, if I were Atiku, I would take next flight to Port Harcourt and close this chapter. Uwabunwa says there. Now, we also have 30 children, 144 Libya returnees arrive Nigeria. And let's see, it says here 4 students celebrating WASC at Lagos Beach apparently drowned. That's what we have on the cover of The Punch. We have a quick break coming your way. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. The ladies are in the kitchen. Looking extremely glamorous, I have to say.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Okay, so a lot of stories we find online baffle us. And this one we thought we'd discuss today about a lady who, the story basically came out because there was a testimony in church. And her testimony was about the fact that after 15 years of leaving her and her 4 kids alone, her husband returned. Suddenly, just came back after 15 years. Okay, no explanation, nothing, no accountability, nothing. And she opens her arms and receives him.
Yeah, because it's the work of the enemy.
Even if there was explanation.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Okay, well, so the pastor, the church said it was the handwork of the enemy, you know, and they asked them to kneel down on the altar for blessing so the whole church could pray for them, right? And, well, long story short, 5 years later, the guy stripped all her accounts, took her for everything she had.
And left again.
Took half or looted everything she had. They did not say half. Oh. Took all she had.
Took everything.
Looted
Yes.
all she had.
Yeah.
And went again.
So,
after 5 years.
As a member of the congregation of that church, how do you feel about this?
Oh, I'm happy because it shows that, you know, it was blamed on the enemy. So now the joy is that, you know, we've proven that it's not the enemy anymore. The irony is, you know, there's no rejoicing in someone's pain and downfall. Yeah. However, the way society expects the female gender to always be forgiving and welcoming and understanding and accepting. Yeah. She does not have a right to say who is to blame. She's supposed to just suck it in because she's the peacemaker, sponge. She's the sponge, she's the glue that brings everybody together. Wow. You understand? Wow. So a good woman is supposed to be forgiving, accepting, understanding, take all the nonsense because she wants to keep her home together. Good women, God bless you.
So my producer had an opinion earlier on, and I'm gonna basically take that and throw it out there. So in this same congregation in church, there are gonna be some young ladies hearing this testimony and thinking this woman did the right thing, accepting this man back. And what do you expect those young women to now think after hearing that 5 years later this guy ups and leaves again?
There's something I'm going to add in there. We're not saying that it's not okay for you to accept your spouse in this regard when he flaws or when he falls. Because we're not perfect. We're all human beings and we all make mistakes, right? And it's marriage. That institution is, as much as, it's the woman, it is the female gender who's at the receiving end, both parties are supposed to be accepting of each other, are supposed to be understanding of each other. We're not saying that it's not okay. What we are saying here is, as much as the Bible expects you to forgive, you're also required to use wisdom. Wisdom, they say, is profitable to direct. As a woman, a married woman, it is not your responsibility to accept all of the man's idiosyncrasies every single time that he faults. Wow. I need to put that out there.
Every single time. Winfrey.
Praise Jesus. I like the way you've been asking the question. Ask my question.
I should ask you. Winfrey, 15 years later, that means that the youngest child he left in the house has finished secondary school by the time he came back.
Apparently, that's even what was written there. They said the youngest had finished secondary school when he came back. And the youngest was about a year old. He was still a baby.
Doesn't even know the father.
But we know him now. He knew him for 5 years before the father went again.
Abi?
Yeah, so at least that bond has been...
Winnie.
To be honest, I can't help but think of what's actually going through the man's mind. I'm sorry, it might sound, but like I'm just thinking, because he actually left, then he came back.
And left again.
Then he left again. So I'm just wondering, because to be honest, for those 5 years, probably in his strength, tried to make things work.
Really?
To be honest, that's literally
hard.
what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Am I detecting
Really
sarcasm?
No, seriously, he worked so hard. But when he didn't work out, he felt, well, you have to compensate me for trying, and he didn't work out. So he carried everything. It was his compensation.
And he's still going to live to spend that same, the monies and all that he looted from that moment.
This time, it's 20 years later. When he has a sickness, he will come
You know what? This conversation cannot
so
end now. We would like the conversation to continue. Hopefully, we might talk about it in second banter. But hey, we'd like to hear your thoughts on all our social media platforms at TVC Connect. We're waiting for those comments. We're going to break now.
Welcome back. We're still here. It's still Wake Up Nigeria, and we're here in the kitchen. And of course, I have Chef Blossom here with me.
Good morning.
I'm very, very confused, I must actually say. Like, what's going on here? I'm seeing Pemo, I'm seeing titles, I'm seeing dry fish, I'm seeing turkey, I'm seeing banga, I'm seeing rice, I'm seeing plantain. Blossom, what's going on? Tell me. Talk to me.
A local dish.
What's the name of the local dish? Ofiako.
Banga stew. Banga stew, yes.
Banga stew. Okay. So not banga rice, because I was thinking maybe
not banga rice. No.
Banga stew. Okay, nice.
So we're serving white rice.
We're serving it to work. Okay, that's why we have rice here. Oh yeah, now. So tell me, what exactly do we need to make this stew come to life?
So we already had banga, the palm nut. extracted the oil. That's what we have in here, right? So we have
Nice and yellow.
yes. It was refrigerated over the night.
Okay.
We have our dry fish. We have this is our what's this?
Wow.
Okay, this sometimes I look very confused. It looks like seasoning cubes. Okay, these are chicken stock.
Okay.
Those to marinate the turkey. So we have our ogiri. They call it ogiri okwe. There are two types of ogiri. We have the ogiri igbo and we have the ogiri okwe.
What's the
That's
difference?
low-cost beans. So this one actually works for stew, while the other one is for soup.
Which
Or
one?
has soup.
Is it the
other
seeds?
No. There's this fermented ogiri. They wrap in this paper.
Okay.
Yes, that's the one they use for oha.
How? Okay, so that's how you know the difference. When
Yeah,
it's
that's how
wrapped,
you know it
that
wrapped,
one is-
yes.
This one is for stew.
Or it might be plated, but this one is for just majorly for ofayako.
Fair, cool.
Yes, and some people use it for ogbono soup.
Yeah, I use it too.
For ogbono, yes.
For ogbono, yeah.
So yeah, we have our banga spice. When you get to the market, just ask them to give banga
Banga
spice.
spice. Okay.
So we have Scotch bonnet. These are not your regular pepper.
They don't look regular.
Yeah, they're the very local one. They're very hot.
Oh,
so
really?
we have it. We already have it
Okay.
blended in here with the onion. So I just brought it so you could see
See
what we
okay.
had. Yes.
So what mix do we have here?
This puree is onions and then the Scotch
Just
bonnet.
pepper. Okay,
Three
just-
pieces of it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's what we have. So this plantain is just for garnish.
I'm gonna fry that.
Just for frying.
Okay, great.
So we have our paste tomatoes. I like to use some amount of that for the stew. And of course, there's no ofeako without your crayfish.
Crayfish.
Yes, you want to go overboard the crayfish, branded
Okay.
crayfish. We have our seasoning, mashed seasoning cubes. We have our Cameroon pepper and black pepper. Then we have our turkey. We have our scent leaf. There is no ofeako without scent leaf. Some
Okay.
persons might like to use pumpkin leaf. That's ugu leaf with scent leaf, but there must be scent leaf.
Okay.
We have our Titus fish and our pomo, cow skin. Then our rice.
Okay. So that's all we have. So now tell me, what's the method for this? How we prepare
It's a one
it?
pot. It's a one pot.
As it is like this, is it still a one pot?
Yes, so it is.
Oh, yeah, no.
The only thing that we have to do here, if I didn't do this, extract this from the house,
That'll be the
we'll
work.
cook it. Yeah, that'll be the work. We'll cook and start pounding.
Yeah, I was literally going
bring
to ask
out
you.
the
So
oil.
is this literally like freshly done?
Yes,
or
I
is
did
it
it. I did
canned?
it yesterday.
Oh, really? Well,
Yes.
you don't look you like using the can.
I didn't do it myself.
Yeah, oh wow.
So I realized that a lot of persons don't like to go. Someone actually did it, one of my staff.
Yeah.
So what you do is you can blend it with your blender. If you don't want to go through the process of pounding,
What blender would that be? But okay, no, we can't talk about.
you just
that
have to
here.
cook it
Very-
very soft.
Are you serious?
So you just blend.
Because I know those nuts are really hard,
Hard,
and
yeah.
your blade, it can actually damage your blender.
Personally, I don't even like the noise that comes when I put the cha-cha noise. And so you
Okay.
just pound it, then use warm water to extract the oil. You don't want to go overboard with your water because if it's too light, if it's too watery, it will take a long time.
Long time to cook. Very
Yes.
true. Very, very true.
So that's what we did.
That's
Then
what you did, yeah.
the other thing you have to do, we'll be boiling some water to wash our fish with salt.
Okay.
Then we'll just debone it.
Okay.
Then have our fresh fish. You can just either. I just like to use.
So I really want to know when is the tomato paste going in?
from the scratch.
So that's the first thing you put?
No. After I'll put the banga, the banga. Yes, I'll put the banga. Then the banga mix. Thank you. Then I'll put the tomato. The banga now, is oil, so you act like oil that will cook the
That will
tomato.
cook the tomato. Okay.
So you have
okay.
to put it. But if you don't want to use tomatoes, it's fine.
Can you also use fresh tomato?
I don't like to use it because of the sour taste.
Okay.
Except you cook the fresh tomato first. After grinding, you cook it.
Alrighty.
Like this.
I mean, let's allow Chef Blossom do her magic here.
You don't want to miss
right
this
now.
process.
We definitely don't want to miss it. We're coming back, don't worry. But now we have Mary on the couch with a very interesting conversation.
Thank you very much, Winfrey. Now, in relationship, we will be highlighting the importance of marital counseling, not marital, premarital counseling for marital success. And doing justice to this today is Olabisi Shoeton, who is a certified emotional intelligence and marriage coach, as well as the founder of Secret Place Wife. I almost said husband. Good to have you in the studio with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so Olabisi, when people talk about premarital counseling, it means that premarital, of course, you're planning to get married. But then it starts from you even deciding if you're ready or not. Please tell us the importance of getting to that stage of premarital.
Okay, so that's assuming that you guys must have been dating for some time. So boy meets girl, girl meets boy, or in this day, how we say it, shooting your shot. However you come to that dating scene, it's assumed that you're dating already and you've been dating for some time, right? At the minimum, about 6 months or thereabout. Not to say that it cannot be shorter, but the ideal is 6 months and above, you know. So when you both are aligned on what is the next path for you, which is really that the idea of marriage will happen to you. It will just become obvious as the next step to take based on what your goals are, right? Once you get to that point, clearly what will follow is an engagement, you know, asking, will you marry me, all of that sort of thing. The moment you are engaged, the next step will be to begin to plan for premarital counseling.
I like the fact that you mentioned engage. Now, we are in Africa, so there are 2 types of engagements now. There's the engagement of, will you marry me, yes or no, as the case may be these days. And the engagement of, okay, your folks coming to meet my parents, the introduction. Which of these engagements must you have done, or do you have to do both before attending premarital counseling?
Anyone really, so long as you have marriage in view, which is that there's now a wedding date or an introduction date or some date that signifies that from here on, this is
union
become
begins.
Man and wife. So long as you have that in view, premarital counseling will be necessary as the next step. So whether you do the traditional introduction where your parents meet your parents, whatever, or you propose in a room, or you do the whole show, you know, whatever it is, so long as there's a marriage, a wedding
in view,
then the counseling will be necessary.
So now we've gotten to that wedding in view. Premarital stage comes. What are the things to look out for when attending a premarital class?
It's important. I mean, that's a very good question. So it's important that you align with the counselor. A lot of times I think that we skip that, you know, in terms of wanting to be sure that, oh, this person aligns with my values. So make sure you check out the counselor properly. Do they align with your values? If you're Christian, do they talk about marriage God's way? If you're Muslim, do they understand the tenets of Islam and can share that in counseling with you? Because spirituality is a big factor in the marriage. So you also want to check, you know, where did they study? Well, what's really the criteria? Is it that you're going to them because they've been married for longer? Some people like older couples, you know, who have been married for 30 years, oh, that would be experience. Or is it that you connect with them based on, you know, what they share? You know, just make sure that the person you're going to is somebody that is qualified, not necessarily your pastor or your sister, or somebody who can be unbiased, someone who has no personal interest in the wedding or in the marriage. So they're able to not take sides. I think that would be important.
You mentioned checking the person out. How can you do that?
Well, this is, I mean, the internet is pretty a small place now, making the world such a small village. So sometimes how you even come in contact with these people is by searching for them. So you don't go around saying this is a counselor's office around, you know, kind of like how you say a salon and all of that. So most times, premarital counseling is sought because the couple searched, maybe on Google, maybe on the internet, and once you get into that space, you can always do a trace. Do you see? So you find their blog, you find their Instagram page, you will find, you know, even
for elderly people, they hardly do that too.
Well, if a couple is going for elderly person, they would be maybe a church member, somebody they've known. Do you see? But I know some elderly premarital counseling online that I also refer people to all the time.
Now, the part where you mentioned bias, because I want us to talk about the benefits of premarital counseling. But before that, the part you talked about bias, do you think it's actually a good idea to attend premarital counseling with someone known to you and who you know?
Well, because at the end of the day, it's about the individual. I mean, not to say that if, for instance, I can speak for myself. If you come to me as a counselor, I do have the ability to not be biased, do you see? But because you never can tell, it's always better to go to a neutral party. Now, even if I'm not biased, I've had instances maybe where a couple knows me and one partner refuses simply because they assume that I will be biased, which is valid, do you see? So if I say I won't be biased, it just may not make the other person comfortable and then may begin to bring up something, some negative emotion that is absolutely not necessary. So it's better to go to a neutral party.
Okay, so now that we've established that fact, let's talk about the benefits of premarital counseling. How do they ensure marital bliss?
Well, I like to say of marriage as something that we have no idea what we are doing. Life doesn't really prepare us for it, and that's the truth. So just assume in your mind that you know absolutely nothing about marriage, regardless of how you feel about your partner. Once you can make that switch in your mind where you can see this almost like formal education, where you are, I mean, if you want to learn coding, for instance, you know nothing about it, no matter how passionate you may seem about it, and you will submit yourself to some form of training. So that is one thing that can guarantee your success, going to that counseling with an open mind. And it improves your communication, it improves your relationship today. And I think that will give you some hope for what tomorrow would look like.
Thank you so much for your time, Olabisi Soitan. It's been really interesting discussing this with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really hope you've been able to learn a thing or two from Olabisi. Right now, though, we have to take a break. There's so much more to come on Wake Up Nigeria. Stay with us.
You're welcome, people. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria. Of course, it's time for our nutrition segment. And on the segment today, we have Elizabeth Onyema. She's an advanced clinical weight loss expert and the CEO of Liz Weight Watchers, and Hearty Foodie. She's a health and lifestyle entrepreneur who teaches nutrition activity and behavioral therapy. And today we will be discussing how the body handles chemicals that aid the build-up of toxic fat. You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're looking very bright. Love it.
I'm actually envious of you.
Oh,
You're
really?
looking very
Okay.
good.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay, now we're talking about toxic chemicals. First, let's establish what they are and how do you find them? Where do they exist? And then we'll just take it from there.
Okay, so toxic chemicals regarding food. So they can be found in food, actually. Now, as the world has become more into science, technology and all that, unfortunately, chemicals are now getting into the food we eat.
Yes, so before we go into chemicals, let's just find what toxic means so that someone listening who may not understand what it means.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So toxic means something that is harmful to the human body, a substance that the human body doesn't recognize and cannot metabolize, meaning they are substances that the human body cannot absorb. We can't use them for anything. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And the moment these things get into the body, they can't be used. Obviously, the body has a way of handling that, so I'm going to wait for you to get there.
Okay.
But basically, they are evil, terrible, damaging, neurotoxic. Now, the word neurotoxin
means that it affects your mind as well.
No, that they destroy, they kill our cells.
Oh.
And the human being is we are like an embodiment of different cells put together. So neurotoxic means substances that destroy the cells of the human body.
Now, let's break it down to where, we can, these toxic foods that contain these toxic chemicals
can be found. They are basically found in, 99% of them are found in processed foods.
Hey.
So normally when they tell you, cut out processed foods, they are cheap, yes.
I'm on this ship.
Okay, you're on the ship. Most people are on the ship, which is why today's topic is a very interesting one. Now, they are mostly found in processed foods. The question is this, when you're making your meals, do you add chemicals in your food deliberately?
Now, you need to tell me what these chemicals are. Because, okay, so, yes, they are found in processed foods.
Yes.
Now, what kind of processed foods?
So, they are found...
The sausages? Is it the bacons? Is it the canned foods?
In fact, there is a rule of thumb for anybody to follow. If you're not making your meals from the scratch, you're not there in control of every ingredient that enters your food, there is a likelihood that if you're buying that thing from outside, you have already come in contact with toxic substances.
Hey.
Yes. So let me make this clear to you now. The human body, for instance, okay, no, let me not enter. We'll go that towards the end of the show. Now, the thing about it is that where can you find these ingredients? How do you even know
that they are
your food? You have to become an avid label reader.
So you have to read every label on everything that you buy.
Yes. Like you have to pick up your sausage and after looking, okay, you may not understand much about the nutritional information, right? But when you see the ingredients, go to the ingredient list, read them out. You would come across strange substances that you never even have heard about before. And these things are usually they have chemical names. You hear stuffs like calcium, disodium, EDTA. You hear stuffs like potassium sorbate. You hear stuff like Xatan gum. You hear stuff like color E44.
So when we see these things, what should we do?
Run!
Hello.
You don't eat them. Run, because they have very dire consequences on the human body.
Now, let's talk about some of these consequences.
Thank you very much. Yeah. For instance, a common preservative like potassium sorbate found in salad creams, mayonnaise, biscuits, cakes, name it, everything, name it, food coloring. That particular substance is always contaminated with arsenic, lead, or mercury. Now, what are you thinking? Cancer. Those are heavy metals. Yes.
How does the body respond to this the minute you take it in?
So good. The human body is in tune with nature. When you take a carrot, the human body knows that this carrot is rich in beta-carotene, is rich in vitamin A. It knows what to do. So the moment you take it, every single thing you eat in this world, any food that enters your body must pass through your liver. The liver is the filter of the human body. Now, when this beta-carotene and vitamin A gets to the liver understands the language of this vitamin.
And it's happy.
It is happy, right? So what it does is like, okay, you vitamin A, go to the eyes and go and do your job there, right? Good. You eat a food rich in vitamin C. It gets to your liver. Oh, immune system. We don't know where it is, but we know it's somewhere.
It's there.
Yeah, so go to the immune system, strengthen that immune system, make her stronger. Bam. But when a food like potassium sorbate gets to the liver, it goes gaga. Like there is this alarm ringing in your body. Pam, 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 ringing red. It doesn't know what to do with it. Immediately it triggers an inflammatory response. The liver releases chemicals that encourages your organs to begin to grow fat around them. Your heart is growing fat.
So it's more like a
them.
defense mechanism.
It is a defense mechanism, my darling.
Wow.
Every single time I see people with a belly bulge, in my head, I say to myself, in fact, the very first time I understood this, no, you don't now, you're good. The very first time I understood this fact, I had to say to myself, God is awesome. It is actually a defense mechanism. The fat growing around the heart,
so now
around
that
the liver,
we understand this.
Chill. These fat growing around these organs are meant to ensure that when these substances get into your body, they act as an insulator, like a protection between your organs and
those chemicals.
Exactly.
And then it prevents blood flow.
No, it doesn't prevent blood flow. Okay. The human body, the fat, one of the functions of our body fat cells is to be a garbage bin. A garbage bin for what? Pesticides, chemical substances, toxic substances, emulsifiers, preservatives, all this nonsense that is being thrown into packaged foods for us.
Now that we understand how our body responds to this, right? The next question is, what are the alternatives?
So the alternative, the truth about it is that
because sometimes you cannot do without some of this, I won't even lie to you.
Okay, can I be honest with you?
Yes, please.
Now, the truth about it is that we live in a highly industrialized world now. It's not even possible, no matter how healthy you eat. You can never eat to the point where you're totally rid of these chemicals. They sneak in somehow. Even your salt has anti-caking agents.
Yeah, I know.
The salt you put in food has anti-caking agents. So what do? Focus on foods that would help your liver detox.
Focus on foods that help your liver detox.
Yes.
And I think on that note, that conversation, quickly, just give us 1 or 2 examples.
So, your vegetables. Vegetables are awesome.
But you cannot use, when you want to eat salad, you need cream. You want to put...
The cream has potassium sorbate.
Thank you so much.
Like something has got to give.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you, to be honest. I mean, I've learned so much. And now I'm visualizing all the processed foods in my freezer and looking for ways to reprogram my mind to throw them away. Thank you very much. We have to go over to the kitchen now and find out what's happening over there. Winfrey.
Okay, so I mean, Chef Blossom is still here, and we're still making our amazing local dish, right? So she actually made it clear that this is not our regular banga, because I thought, yeah, of course not, because I know, like, even to eat rice now, I just thought the same rice we used to eat starch, we used to eat rice. Do you understand? But she made me understand that no, this particular ofaku.
Yes.
Is actually different and specifically for white rice. And in case you're just joining us, that's exactly what we're making today. And the ingredient on that is the ingredient for that is on your screen. We have salt, rice, onions, protein, which she definitely has for protein. She has some fish, some cow skin, and some turkey. And of course, she has some crayfish, dry fish, palm nuts, scotch bonnet, seasoning cubes, native locust beans. Yeah, amazing.
AKA Operi, Ope. That's what they call it.
Opehe, yes.
Ope.
I remember growing up with that. Mom used to always tell me to boil hot water to melt the
To
opehe.
melt it,
Is that how you're going to do it?
Of course.
Today? Amazing.
Because if you don't do it like that, you just dish your stew and you just find out that you're chewing
No,
it.
you can't.
So it's better you dissolve it.
Dissolve it with hot water and salt. Right. Amazing. So now, what are you exactly doing with the turkey?
Okay, so I'm going to marinate them with some seasoning.
Okay.
Cubes, mashed seasoning cubes, some salt, and then the chicken stock.
So we can see our banga bubbling. What exactly do we have in there?
So, like I said, I used my fresh tomatoes. This is just to give it this reddish feel, but you can have it just plain. So we're having the banga boil with the paste tomatoes in it and the puree, the onion puree, onion and pepper puree that we made.
Okay.
So this is what
So that's what it's like. Yes. So now we just put our banga liquid in the pots with some tomato paste, and you said the fresh tomato.
And then
you said it gives sour taste. Doesn't paste tomato have the same sour taste?
Yes, it does.
And even stronger.
Yeah, you know, fresh tomatoes, if you don't cook it at all, and then you pour it into the banga, it will have this, it will make the banga soggy to give this very weak feel. But the paste kind of has a way of bringing it together. Yes, the oil also helps to cook it from the scratch. That's why I put it from
the scratch. Yeah. Okay.
If you want to now say you want to do extra, you can fry with a little palm oil. Fry the paste tomatoes, then pour it
put it
into.
inside. Okay, so you're sure that for people that are really exactly, it's probably cooked.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, great. And of course, we have our rice already in that pan, boiling away. I mean, the aroma of the banga is already filling the room.
Yep.
Actually smells really nice. So what exactly are we going to do with our fish? Are we going to boil, fry?
No, we're not boiling.
Is it raw?
No, we're not boiling. You can choose to fry.
Okay.
So I don't like to parboil my fish. I like to I'll just put it in when it's almost time.
And of course, you trust it's going to absorb all the juice.
Yes.
The juice. Okay. I mean, we said it's a one-pan dish,
yes,
so definitely something that's, I might try that. It's nice.
So I'm putting like a pinch or two of salt in the turkey.
Okay.
So it goes in. So I was going to say, when you're cooking this ofe akwu, when you're cooking banga generally, either for ofe akwu or for banga still, please leave the pot open.
Yeah, you don't cover banga.
You don't cover it.
Yes.
That's the same way you don't cover it. Yes.
Yeah. But then again, why are you saying that? So people understand it.
It helps to hasten the thickening process.
Of course, yes.
It helps to.
So the steam goes out.
Yes.
And it gets. So now, let me ask: this fish, pomo, and turkey you are using, is it just because you're a big girl and you just want to prepare else?
Yes.
Or is it a requirement?
Personally, if I was to make this at home, I would use cow stripes. Like I'll use all those shaki, fuki, all those, all those things, so that it has a way of. You could use any protein you want.
You know how much dollar is now. Don't put us inside trouble.
So you can use any protein that you can afford.
Yeah, of course. Okay, thank you so much. Of course, we're going to leave that to be on the fire to get ready now. But then again, it's the top of the hour. We have to go all over and start again.
Oh, wow. So birds fly, but I don't think they think twice about it.
No, they don't.
They simply just spread their wings and it happens naturally. Yeah, you look like you're about to fly away in that.
Of course, in that same vein, you definitely could say that we take a natural pleasure in being here every morning as early as we can, which is why, if you just tuned in, you've definitely lost one entire hour. The show is 7, not 8.
But not to worry. We still have quite a lot happening on this magic carpet. 45 minutes dedicated to making you feel great about life in general.
Definitely, but you should definitely know that we take off, I mean, as I said, 7, not 8.
Well, don't worry. 4 wonderful ladies are here on Wake Up Nigeria on Wonder Women Wednesday. Now, the chef and MM, I'm not seeing the wings, but you're definitely flying.
As in, this food is making me fly. Not literally, but I'm already in the sky. Blossom, You have fulfilled my heart desire.
Really?
I've been wanting to eat banga soup since.
I will.
And we are cooking banga.
Oh, wow, sorry.
Whether banga soup or stew, or na banga. But as you can see, Blossom is hard at work, getting things ready, prepping things up. I don't know what Winfrey has been doing in this kitchen since, because I feel like I'm the one that's doing this kitchen. But voilà.
So, because I didn't bring banga soup for you now.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm seeing the shade.
It's okay. No, do you understand? No,
Inside joke. But she's definitely doing a wonderful job there, Chef Blossom.
Of course, as usual, you know, she brings the kitchen to life every time she steps in. And of course, we can smell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over the studio.
Yeah,
And of course, my name is Winfrey Agbeleshe.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinsong. You can stream this show live at tvcentertainment.tv or on Facebook at TVC Connect. You can also catch us on GOTV channel 27 or UHF channel 49.
Of course, and download the TVC app on Android and iOS stores and catch up with old episodes of YouTube at tvcentertainment.tv.
Yes, so make sure you stick around. We, of course, will be giving some amazing birthday shout-outs. Very, very soon. We'll be celebrating you and your loved ones.
Of course, and right after that, we'll be having a chat with Princess Amaomi Agumbiade, the current Miss Multiverse Nigeria, who will be representing Nigeria at the Miss Multiverse International 2022. She is, of course, a model, actress, beauty queen, and an entrepreneur.
Yes, so. And for our performance, we'll be joined by Oluwafunmilayo Oseni, a.k.a. Miss Slimzy. She's going to be performing her single, We Good Together.
And then we wrap things up with another up-close and personal conversation with Malcolm Nuna, a musician currently making the waves on the Ghanaian music scene with collaborations with the likes of La Russo, Kofi Mole.
Ankara jacket he was wearing.
Yeah, that's
like
ready
something
to wear brand.
Yeah, I was gonna say something.
Yeah,
ready to wear by
MM.
Oh.
Well, quickly, let's. There's something I'd like us to address. No, talk about really. All right. So Tiwa Savage got some backlash over the weekend, right? Her popular song, "Somebody's Son." So recently at a performance she performed at recently, right? She was saying that when she wrote that song, the person that inspired her was Jesus Christ, and that she was actually that person she was referring to in the song, or is referring to, is Jesus Christ. And Jesus inspired, the song.
Wow, so it's a gospel song.
Yeah, so it's
wow.
yeah. So she got a lot of backlash. Who came at her like, oh wow. So now she's basically trending because people just randomly say, somebody's son, thank you for waking me up this morning.
Well, she might be right. You know what I'm saying too? Sam Smith's Stay With Me is actually a gospel ballad. It was inspired by a gospel ballad. But the song talks about, asking a one-night stand to fall in love with you, like asking a one-night stand to stay with you. But it's actually a gospel-inspired ballad. So maybe that's even where she got the inspiration from. So she too, gospel-inspired, somebody's son. So next time you're singing somebody, all right, you need to change it. Somebody's son.
Wait. So, Alakowe ni boboye.
Now,
Alakori.
Alakori ni boboye. No, she's trying to say that this Jesus, you will not love me, Abi.
How Alakori?
She's saying this Jesus, you will not love me, Abi. That's what she's saying.
What does Alakori ni boboye say? What does it mean?
See, if you know the meaning of Alakori, you know that it's not. Alakori means
we can't exactly translate it.
Not send somebody.
But wow.
Yeah.
Is that the...
You don't know the kind of relationship she has with Jesus.
Yeah, but then, now that you mentioned this Sam Smith, Stay With Me being inspired by...
It's a gospel, it's inspired by a gospel ballad.
It's beginning to make me... Maybe people see the Supreme Being as being someone different. The Supreme Being can
Everybody sees God differently.
Yeah, I think...
So now, this is what I'm going to say. Right? She said when she was singing this song, it was Jesus that was in her mind.
Yes.
She did not now say when it was going to come out, it's Jesus that you are singing.
Bam.
I don't know if you understand it.
They're two things.
Do you get it? It's different. Even Dekunle Sheba was inspired by Bathsheba in the Bible.
Bam.
Wow.
Bam. So please, somebody's song, Jesus will love you one day. God will love you one day.
My name is Winfrey Agbeleshe, and it's time for some news. We're starting again in Abuja, where earlier Electricity workers threaten to embark on an indefinite strike from Wednesday if their demands are not met. In this report, TVC News correspondent Joke Adisa says the workers allege that the management of Transmission Company of Nigeria is disregarding their conditions of service.
All is not well between electricity workers in Nigeria and their employer. After a 7-year lull, the federal government inaugurated a 14-man board of the Transmission Company of Nigeria in July with a mandate to ensure efficiency in the power sector. But the workers are not at ease with some of the steps being taken by the new board. This is one of the reasons for this peaceful protest.
Our entitlement was completed less 16 months, which was supposed to be paid to us. Now there was an agreement that the market operator in TCN is going to pay this money. Last week they told us they are not going to pay. You don't have the money to pay. So who pays the money?
Anybody that is a principal manager, you will not go for promotion or any written exam before you are giving assistant general manager. It depends on the vacancy, but they come, they say you must write exam, you must do interview, which is not in the career progression, and then continue to be signed by the union and the management.
Other issues on the front burner include the alleged stigmatization of former PHCN workers and non-payment of their 16 months entitlements. They say this protest, which has brought all activities of the company to a halt, is a prelude to what's to come.
This protest is nationwide. If our demands are not met, we don't get any concrete thing from government, tomorrow we will shut down.
All the TCN within Nigeria is under lock and key. If nothing is being done tomorrow, we are going to withdraw our service. It's no more locking the office. Everybody will stay at home. And that means there will be total shutdown.
The workers also called for the implementation of the Electricity Reform Act.
As the clock ticks, these protesting workers say they are set to commence a nationwide industrial action from this midnight should government continue to ignore their demands. What this means is that Nigerians will have to experience total blackout in days ahead. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
And that's all we'll be taking for sports, for the news for now. Welcome back. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. And now it's time for a very interesting conversation. And this one is with Princess Amomi Agumbiade, who is currently Miss Multiverse Nigeria. And of course, she'll be representing Nigeria at the Miss Multiverse 2022 International Beauty Pageant happening in Dominican Republic. She's also a model, an actress, an entrepreneur, amongst other things. Hi, Princess. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm fine, thank you.
You look stunning. I love your shoes.
Coming from you, I'm so flattered actually, because you look beautiful yourself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so now, right, there's a whole lot, right, that you've actually happened to achieve over time. But then again, I think the focus right now is the fact that you actually represented Nigeria at the Miss Multiverse International happening very soon. So now tell me, what does it feel like having that title, Miss Multiverse? Because, I mean, not too long ago, we had the movie Multiverse of Madness. So what exactly is transpiring here? Can you explain?
Okay, so when you say, how do I feel having the title, the first thing that comes to my mind is responsibility.
Okay.
So I feel very responsible because I'm going to be representing Nigeria once again. And this is the giant of Africa, for crying out loud. So it's a big responsibility for me to represent Nigeria, you know, internationally. But also I now have a platform where I'm going to have a lot of young people looking up to me. So that means I need to be a great example for them. Exactly.
Of course. And of course, talking about, again, for people that don't know, you actually represented Nigeria at the Miss Grand International competition. Now tell me, what was the grand title like and what was that experience like?
Well, the grand title was amazing, really. But then the experience, you mean at international pageant, right? It was phenomenal. You know, that was my first time actually having to represent Nigeria internationally. So as a first timer, I felt very, I think the word is intrigued at how international pageants run, because it's quite different from the way...
Very different.
Yes, I'm sure you have some experience here. So, but I also love the fact that I was able to explore Vietnam. That's very different culture, you know, for someone like me. And then also what I was able to do with the platform after, you know, The international competition is actually one thing I can never forget. You birthed my spelling bee.
Yes.
Yes, which of course.
Yeah, of course. So now tell us a little bit about the spelling bee, which I think is actually a very phenomenal achievement.
Yeah, the spelling bee is called the Princess Agumbiade Spelling Bee. But the whole idea behind that is I'm trying to create a communication. I'm trying to
bridge.
I'm trying to bridge communication bridge between secondary school students in Nigeria. You know, a lot of people are probably forgetting that English is our lingua franca, so they tend to throw it away. Yeah, it's not that important, but it's really important because you can know so much, but if you're not able to communicate, you know, you probably would not be able to, you know, do so much with what you know. So I want to make sure that every Nigerian student is able to express themselves very well in proper English language. So I want to pique their interest in English language. That's why I actually started a spelling bee competition. And the whole idea is we reward students for being great spellers, and then we just kind of try to pique their interest in, you know, learning the English language.
I mean, I think it's amazing because a lot of people don't understand that with being a pageant queen comes a whole lot of responsibilities, right? And charitable responsibilities at that. And of course, now let's talk about you preparing for your Miss Multiverse international pageant. So now, how is that coming along?
It's tasking.
It is, right? It definitely is.
It's tasking. You know, I mean, having to, of course, return to the gym. I mean, of course, you should be going to the gym every day, but now you have a more rigorous schedule with, you know, instructor. But also, you know, I live for preparing for the interview sessions because it is now making me learn how to, you know, proper public speaking, you know, witty answers. It's literally making me research more on, you know, different various topics that are very varied. And then also the fact that I'm also having to learn how to swim. I cannot swim at my big age.
So why? Was that one of the requirements?
Oh, well, so basically because it's also like a reality TV show, we're going to have to do different kinds of tasks. And one of the tasks might have to be water activities. I don't want to go there and say, oh, I can't swim. And then, oh, yeah, you just sit down. I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to participate.
Participate in everything.
Exactly.
Very important. Yeah. I mean, I think that's amazing. I would say a huge congratulations to you for attaining that title, Miss Multiverse Nigeria. And of course, we're definitely rooting for you and hoping that you bring me. It's you now, Princess. You know, we're not going to bring it. So now, one final question, very briefly. How do you manage to bring all the components you work with? I mean, you're an entrepreneur, you own several businesses, you do different charity, and still, like, you're actively active, like in other things. How do you manage to bring that all together?
I'll say, first of all, I have interest in all of those things, right? So they don't seem like a big job because of my interest in all of them. And initially, I used to think that I had to remove some parts because I don't want to appear confused. But now I don't even mind appearing confused because I want people to realize that you can actually embrace all the parts of you without having to remove certain parts because you want to appear a certain way. So I enjoy what I do. I love everything that I do. And so that's why it seems like a breeze, although it's not.
Amazing, amazing. I love how you gracefully just put all of that together. Thank you so much for coming to talk to me today. And I wish you all the best, as I said before. You know now, we're rooting for you. We'll do the groundwork.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Right now, we're going on a quick break. And when we come back, we have a very interesting interview with Malcolm Nuna. So stay tuned.
It's been an amazing day so far with the Wonder Women right here in the studio, right here on Wake Up Nigeria. And we're wrapping it up nice and neat in a bow with a conversation with Malcolm Nuna. He's a musician currently making waves in the Ghanaian music industry with some amazing collaborations with the likes of LaRusso, Kofi Mole, DJ Sly, and many others. Welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
And welcome to Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you.
So, how many days in Nigeria now?
3 days.
3 days?
Yeah, today will be my 3rd day.
Okay, so how's it been since you got here?
Yeah, Nigeria is everything you see on TV, you know? Like,
are you serious?
For real, like what they show us entertainment-wise. Like you guys party on a Monday. Like I was in a club on Monday, everyone was there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so all these people that are taking you to the club on Monday, I know they want you to groove, they want you to have fun, they want you to feel the vibe.
Yeah.
So the issue for me now is finding that vibe in your music and making sure that it connects to the Nigerian music industry. Yeah. So what have you been doing to make sure that happens?
I tasted Nigerian jollof.
Wow. Okay.
I tasted Nigerian jollof, and yeah, I know why there's an argument between Ghana jollof and Nigerian jollof. Yeah.
Okay. So your mom is Ghanaian, yes?
Yeah, my mom is Ghanaian.
Are you sure your mom will agree with what you just said? She probably makes Ghanaian jollof, and you're like telling her that Nigerian jollof is better than ours.
I know she's not watching right now. it's not airing in Ghana, so I can get away with that.
Okay, so now there's been a lot of buzz around you. You were on the Ghana charts, I believe.
Yeah.
You got to, was it #2 you got to?
Yeah, most Shazam song in Ghana. But yeah, my new release, Benzo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did that feel when that happened?
Yeah, it felt great. I woke up and I saw a lot of mentions on my Instagram and my Snap and Twitter. Yeah.
So have you been able to, you know, wrap your head around it, the success of this particular track?
Well, I'm not letting it get to me too much.
Okay.
And I know there's more to come because the video is coming like tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, there's more chatting to chat.
I'm going to be looking out for that video.
Yeah.
But for one reason only. I've noticed that you're extremely colorful with your videos.
Oh, yeah.
From the past. Can you run us through the process of getting your videos from start to finish?
So most of my videos are shot by General J. He's a very good director back in Ghana. And he and I, like, when we put our heads together, like, I don't know how to say it, but we think alike. So, yeah, and I like to bring out the whole colorful vibe because I'm young and we don't like colors, you know.
I was thinking about that, though. The young aspect, the youth of it all, you know. There's this mindset that, let's say, older generations have about the music industry, that it's only for young people. Do you think your music is just only for young people, or are you trying to cut across?
No, I'm trying to cut across very, very hard.
How?
Well, I'll say first I wasn't really rushing it because I was very young. I wasn't as open to many stuff as older people, so I was just singing about something someone in secondary school is gonna see, you know, like I don't want to lie about anything. Yeah, but now that I'm actually in the real world and I've seen a couple of stuff and it's gonna make my writing more real when you experience it, you understand? So yeah.
Okay. So I was going to actually ask about it if you were actually writing the songs.
Yeah.
So how involved are you in the writing process and the production process?
Well, I am there when the producer is mixing the song and I write the song in the studio, so I say 100% make sure you can smell Malcolm on the record. Yeah.
Okay, all right. What is that scent of Malcolm there? What is it that makes that song a Malcolm record?
Well, I just make sure everything I do on a song, no matter the genre, I just make you know it's African in a way. I don't know how to put it. Benzo is a drill song, but I made sure to bring the high life feel so that it has like a root. So wherever the song goes, it's gonna come back and you know it's an African song.
Okay.
Yeah.
It must be a little bit of pressure, though. You know, you hit almost the top of the charts. How do you feel the video is going to do? How do you feel your next tracks are going to do on the charts?
Well, right now, I'm just keeping my head up, with my shades on. So all the bad energy, and yeah, my hopes are up, yeah.
So we need to talk a bit. We need to talk about relationships with other artists, because you know how it is when a new young artist is, you know, super fly and gets on the scene. There's this, you know, sometimes there's a tussle. Sometimes there could be some beef. You know, what's the relationship like? Shatawale, Sarkodie, have you ever thought about doing collabos with them?
Yeah, I have. Like, growing up, I've always dreamed making music with Shatawale, Sarkodie, Stonebwoy. You know, like, they're carrying the whole Ghana baton.
Yeah.
Yeah, there. I haven't had a better conversation with them yet.
Yeah, okay.
Just seen them. Hey, Shatawale, hey, Stonebwoy. I haven't really, but I hope they notice me and they actually like my stuff. Yeah.
I have a feeling they have noticed you, and there are going to be conversations. Trust me, you're in Nigeria. Once you start having conversations with Nigerian artists, yeah, some of your guys over there are going to start, you know, opening their ears a little more to you.
I hope so.
Amen to that.
Amen.
It's great to have you, and make sure you have a great time in Nigeria while you're here.
Yeah.
All right, then. It's really great to have you, Malcolm. And we're going to give you something else to think about when going back to Ghana. Some Nigerian food will be coming your way.
Can't wait.
All right. Did you see that Ankara jacket again?
Welcome to the kitchen, Malcolm. This is Chef Blossom, and this morning she's made for you rice with banga soya and
No, you've already started. Go ahead. Wow. Welcome. So now, how familiar are you with Nigerian food?
Nigerian jollof.
Nigerian, that's the father. I'll ask you.
Eba and Egusi.
And
Egusi.
Okay, so now this is banga. Have you heard of banga before?
Banga.
Nah. Okay, so it's palm oil. So
Okay.
And this is banga. She made it with rice. I mean, tell them how you made what you did and how you did.
We extracted the oil from banga nuts.
Not from the scratch.
From the scratch.
All right.
I'm saying.
Okay, no problem.
Can I try it?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so have a taste.
Have a taste and let us know what you think.
While he's doing that, we have to say a big thank you to everyone.
It feels like my mom's food. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a pleasure being here on Wonder Woman Wednesday. Till tomorrow, guys, 7 a.m.
Yes.
Bye.